name is Pierre Casuto. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Humanz. We are a 5-year-old startup, originally from Israel and now operating in 6 countries, focused on software for influencer marketing. Consumers and potential clients in general are all on digital channel nowadays. It doesn't matter if you're talking about, a 14-year-old that you try and target or their grandparents. They are all on digital channels in different places. If you're not on digital channels, if your strategy doesn't include a place online where people can find more information about your product and contact you there, then you're missing out on the majority of the market. The benefit of working with influencers is that typically they'll understand your target audience much better than you by virtue of being an insider within that same community or that target audience. You're not handing over your brand to them, you're bringing your brand into their world. And so by virtue of being invited into that world, you're going to listen to what that community likes, what they like to do, what they think about you. What's really interesting about the influencer marketing industry today is that not only do brands and marketers not really fully know how to take advantage of it and how to do it, but neither do the creators or the influencers. So there's a difference between somebody who creates content as a creator and is looking for sponsors and people to come in and help them with the content, and somebody who's an influencer and can sell a product to other people online. So a lot of what we've had to do is listen to the industry, understand where people are at, and try to bridge the gap between both parties so that both parties can understand where the value lies and how they can work better together. Just like with any other customer in any community, we've had to go in there and listen to people and understand how we can create value for them. Influencer marketing is an umbrella word. It's more than just a channel or a practice. It's actually an evolution of the industry. Just like we've seen with the transport industry, where everybody can kind of drive you around, to now the idea of that everybody can advertise your product or contribute to your marketing strategy. 15 years ago, we used to say digital is like a new channel or a new way of doing advertising, and now it's all encompassing. Celebrity endorsements are part of influencer marketing, as are expert endorsements, as are collaborations with a media platform or a channel. It's about bringing people from external communities into your team for additional insights, for additional creative, and for media exposure. But it takes time, and it requires building relationship with different people that you want to listen to and learn from. And the biggest mistake people make is they think of influencers as a channel, and they treat them like billboards. Here's my message, here's my brand, now go and convince people that they should buy it. It's the wrong way around. The influencer already has access to community, and they've got an opinion and a vision about your brand. So come to them, listen to what they have to say, and collaborate. It's 30% your brand, 70% their community, not the other way around. So Humanz is a tech company. We've built a platform where both brands and influencers or creators can come together. And what we do is, underneath all of it, we analyze their audience and try to understand what connects specific social accounts to their followers. Am I, a beautiful woman in California posting about fitness, but are my followers all male in Russia? Then I'm probably not a fitness influencer. However, if my followers also post about fitness or also follow other fitness-related accounts and engage with my fitness-related content, then there's probably a match from an influence perspective there. So we try to guide brands with creators that already genuinely love their products and use them, but beyond that, whose audience has a similar interest and engage with that type of content as well. So we try to guide brands with creators that already genuinely love their products and use them, but beyond that, whose audience has a similar interest and engage with that type of content as well. Globally, the influencer marketing industry is still not very mature, and it's the Wild West, not just in South Africa, but even when we're looking at the US, Brazil, Israel. The amount that's being spent in South Africa relative to other channels is still very low. The understanding of what value exists and can be created through influencer marketing is also really low, but it's the same thing in other markets, as I mentioned. People think of influencers based on the number of followers they have. But if you look through all the data we have, and that's widely available now, there's very little correlation between how many views a piece of content is going to get and how many followers somebody has. Things trend based on algorithms, things trend based on engagement, and your number of followers does not correlate to any ROI the brand is going to get. Creators, influencer marketing can give you 3 things: insights, content, and then sales. Those are the 3 things you could be getting. Since none of those correlate to number of followers, it should not matter whether you have a lot of followers or very low followers in order to be successful. One of the biggest challenges we had is that we create products and operate an industry that's evolving really fast. The challenge was to provide guidance to our clients while at the same time learning and keeping up to date with all the changes that were happening in the industry. We have a fairly large R&D team that's based out of Israel that creates our product and is constantly dealing with our customers and getting feedback from them for what needs to happen. But we've also created an internal team that services customers and uses the products for them if they require it. We call it a customer success team, but in essence also acts as our very first customer. But that team can also give feedback back to our R&D team to what change they need to make to the products and where they need to push innovation. There are a few points of pride for the Humanz business. One of them is helping Zara, for example, with launching their first ever influencer marketing campaign in Africa, where they turned 700 people that were not influencers or did not know they were influencers into creators. They trended #1 in the world as a result on social media. Moving from working at an agency where I was paid to give advice to people based on things I'd never tried myself, to now moving into a CMO role where I have to account for the results of our investments from a marketing perspective, my biggest piece of advice is to move away from long, large, complicated strategies and more towards tangible actions that you can measure. Digital marketing in general has so many options. It's sometimes paralyzing to see all the different things you could do and all the things you're not currently doing. Rather, focus on a few key actions, measuring and learning from them and scaling them as you see the results. Choice today is not a problem. There are hundreds if not thousands of options for just about anything you want to do online. The decision that we made were based on, in some cases, pricing, which is always a key factor, but also how easy it was to adopt, learn, and implement. So speed of execution, based on the strategy I mentioned earlier of saying, try something, see if it works, and then scale it. As a CMO, I've had to shift our team's understanding from purely performance-driven input-output towards nurturing relationships in a lot more, and taking a lot more care of them than prior to COVID. COVID has changed employer-employee relationships and client-supplier relationships on both sides, where we think less as people as resources, a lot more as people with all their complexities and them bringing, their home with them. A lot of the time we're working with people, having conversation on Zoom or Teams or Hangouts, and from there they bring their world to them, their kids, their bad internet connections or whatever else is happening, and the same with our customers. COVID has taught us that a lot of the appearances and things we valued before matter a lot less, and at the end of the day the relationships are what matter.